This is Oshkosh Today, your connection to events and organizations in the Oshkosh area. Oshkosh Today is supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 North West Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Oshkosh Today, your source for all things local. We've got a really good show lined up for today with some great guests in, starting out with golf season. It's upon us, and that means Mother Nature has finally woken up from her winter slumber, and we have the Lakeshore Municipal Golf Course in studio today to give us all the news and updates that we need before we head out for a round. Then we'll chat with people from the Vince Lombardi Cancer Walk, hosted by Aurora Cancer Care in Oshkosh, and you won't want to miss the details on this event. It really provides hope to so many people in our community. And then after that, we have the Military Veterans Museum in to tell us about their facility and what visitors to the museum can learn. Then the vocational skills students at Oshkosh North are making a difference in Oshkosh by building little free libraries for our parks. I got to meet these kids and learn more about this project out at Roe Park earlier this week. Finally, Memorial Day is fast approaching, a day to honor those who have given their lives for our country. I'll be co-hosting the Memorial Day procession this year with Doc Sunleitner, and he's in studio today to tell us a little bit more about that, as well as a few other things that are going on that day to honor our fallen heroes. As always, we'll wrap up the show with a segment of Focus on Health with Ted Stefaniak, brought to us by Aurora Healthcare. So without further ado, let's get to our first guest. It's May, the temperature is finally over 20 degrees, and it seems like everyone's ready to get outside. One of the many things that Oshkosh has to offer to enjoy the beautiful outdoors is the Lakeshore Municipal Golf Course. So here today we have Trace Gardiner from the Lakeshore Golf Course here to tell us a little bit about the course itself. So thanks so much for coming in today.
Well, thanks for having me.
So first off, if you just want to, tell us how long has the golf course been around here for?
Well, the golf course itself has been around since the early 1920s.
Really?
Prior to that, originally it was a private course. Prior to that in Oshkosh, and then they moved to a different location, and then the city took over and has been running the golf course since then. In the early 2000s, I believe it was year 1999 or 2000, there was a major renovation done to the course, so the course kind of took a facelift during that time.
Excellent. And it's now open. When exactly did the golf course open this year?
We opened this year on April 10th, which was a little bit earlier than last year, but unfortunately with the weather in April, there's been a lot of days where we haven't been open, but hopefully now the weather will turn eventually and we'll start feeling like spring.
Eventually. I feel like the temperature's caught up, but the rain stuff's still kind of holding us back a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it's been very frustrating. We have a couple good days and then 2 or 3 bad days, but the encouraging thing is on the good days, we've had very good play this year. So rounds have been up compared to last year so far, and hopefully that'll continue throughout the season once we get some more consistent weather.
Yes, and how long is the golf course season?
It varies. We basically go until it snows.
Oh, okay.
So last year I think we all closed about November 15th, but in some other years it's went into December.
Really?
So as long as the weather lets us play, we'll be out there, we'll be open and have people out there golfing.
Really? So it really just depends on the weather. As soon as you start to see it's getting nicer, getting colder, then that kind of deciphers.
Yeah, the season, 2 years ago they opened on March 15th, which is very early. So some years can go early, some years later, but we always hope at the end of the year to get through to at least middle November.
Mm-hmm. And the municipal golf course, it's open to everyone. What exactly is the course like? What kind of terrain and scenery can...
It's really a nice golf course. A lot of nice views of the river, right along the river here in Oshkosh. A lot of mature trees. Since the course has been there through all these years, we've got a lot of trees. It's a course that's very playable for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a good mixture of shorter holes, longer holes. So I always say it's a good golf course to come out and play, whether you've played golf for 50 years or you're playing for your first time.
Like me. So there's no, it's not, a high skill level where there's going to be holes that you just can't get through.
No, some holes will be more challenging than others, but overall it's a very playable golf course.
Excellent. And some changes have actually taken place on the course itself. If you want to maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. The one noticeable change that everybody has seen so far is on the front nine we actually have 2 holes cut in every green now. We have the regulation hole like we've always had, and then we've added a big cup, which is twice the size of a regular hole. The reason for going behind that is the game is challenging, especially for people who haven't played as much or for juniors. So if you give them a little bigger hole, it's a little more easy to make a putt and have a little more fun while you're playing. Because if you're struggling with something, obviously it's not as much fun as if you see the ball go in the hole a little bit more often.
Right. So, well, someone like me who would probably take about 20 shots to get up to the hole in the first place. So, are those holes, I mean, they're right next to each other then, right on the green?
No, they're spread out. Everyone's a little different, but they're generally off to the side or in the back of the green where they're not going to be in play with the people who want to play to the regulation size cup. So.
Great. Well, I mean, that's something that people can definitely look forward to. And you said those are on the front?
On the front 9. We just did 9 holes for now. We'll see if it gains popularity. We see more and more people using them, and they want to have them on all 18. We can always add the back 9 as well. So hopefully we'll start seeing some people using them, and I've seen a few juniors use them so far, which is good to see.
Great. And I mean, where did the idea for this change come from? Did you have people that were requesting or asking for these?
This is something that I've been reading up on the last couple years. It's slowly gaining around the country. You're seeing a few other places, but the PGA of America is doing everything they can to make the game more enjoyable and get more people to play. And you're seeing more professionals start to institute this at their courses. And you don't see it too many places, that's for sure. But we're one of the first in the area to do it. So hopefully people will enjoy it.
Yeah, and people should get out and try it out and see how they like it.
Even if you play the golf course, a couple times a week and you're a regular golfer, it's something to do that's different. You can mix it up. The leagues can use them to do something on a fun night. So there's a lot of ways that people could use the different.
Kind of change it up a
use the big holes. Yep.
Any other changes that people can look out for this season?
The one change you won't see as much, but you'll notice it when you're playing, is we were able to get a new greens roller for the greens, which obviously we cut the greens, but then now we can also roll them, which makes them a little smoother. Potentially, hopefully get them a little quicker as well.
Okay.
But that's not something you'll maybe notice visually, but while you're playing,
when
you're playing, you'll notice the greens. I think even though they've always been in very good shape, you might see them even more smooth as in the past.
Excellent. And I mean, these kind of changes, you're always trying to improve the course. And so, how often do you get new equipment and things like that that's going to really enhance people's play?
I mean, that varies because the equipment luckily lasts a number of years because the equipment is not very cheap for a golf course. The mowers and the greens.
No.
I mean, so we don't only change when we need to. And getting the new greens roller last year, or actually this spring, was a great addition to the course.
Right, and I think it's even all the more reason for people to get out and try it out and see how they like it. And
I agree.
Yeah,
whether you play golf or not, even if you don't play too often, I mean, we have a driving range. You come out and hit range balls as well. I mean, there's other things that you can do out there besides if you don't want to actually go on the golf course.
Right, and that was my next question. You've got other facilities at the golf course, like the driving range. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yep, we've got a driving range, which I don't know exactly when people can fit down there, but it's a good size range. We never run out of space. So if you want to just go and hit range balls, we sell range balls as well as range passes. Last summer we opened a chipping green. We've always had a putting green, but last year we opened a chipping green, so people can come out and work on their short games. And the putting green and the chipping green there's no charge. You just bring your own golf balls and you can go out there and practice and work on your game.
Very nice. And you also have some things like the clubhouse and the snack shack.
Yep, we got a clubhouse. We have a nice deck that overlooks the river as well. So when you're done golfing, you can go out there and have a beverage or have a little snack and enjoy yourself. And I mean, we don't have a kitchen per se, but we do serve hot dogs and hamburgers, things like that. And we do grill out on the weekends as well during the season.
And the view itself should be enough anyway, right?
Yeah, it's a great view overlooking the river and very peaceful sitting out there after you're golfing.
Or while everyone else is golfing, I'll go sit out there.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't even have to golf.
Let them
you
enjoy
can just come out there and enjoy the scenery and just relax and come out there anytime, whether you golf or not.
Excellent. And then are there any opportunities for people to have events or tournaments or anything at the golf course? Yep.
Yeah, we're always looking if anybody wants to have an outing, whether it's 20 people or 144 people. We'll run an event for you. All you need to do is just call the golf course at 235-6200 and ask for me.
Okay.
And we'll work something out.
Right, and you have a great website, lakeshoregolfcourse.net, where you can, reserve a tee time, or you take a look at the scorecard, look at the prices and all that. So we're just about out of time. So if anyone is looking for, fees or prices, they can go on the website.
All the fees are on the website, lakeshoregolfcourse.net. And the other thing you can do on the website too is sign up to get our email list. And that way, when I send out email blasts about upcoming specials or events, you'll just get everything emailed to you, so you don't even have to go looking for it.
Excellent. Well, definitely something you're going to want to go and check out this summer. Get out on the green, and hopefully the rain will slowly fade away, and we'll get into our beautiful summer here. So thanks again so much for joining us today,
No
Tris.
problem. Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll hear all about a way that you can support those people that are battling with cancer right now. We'll be right back on Oshkosh Today.
Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow. When we see a roundabout, take it slow. Then we pick the correct lane and take it slow. When we see a car approach, we yield to the left. When we're in that roundabout, we don't pass anybody yet. Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow.
Visit WisconsinRoundabouts.com for more info from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Do you know or have a family member with a disability? Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin is here to help. We offer programs and services that make a positive difference for individuals that are affected by a variety of disabilities. Volunteers are always welcome, and your financial gifts are truly appreciated and tax deductible. For more details, log on to www.cpmideastwis.com or call 1-800-261-1895. Thanks for supporting Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today, and thank you so much for joining us. The 6th annual Oshkosh Lombardi Cancer Walk will take place on June 7th, and here to tell us a little bit more about that walk is Beth Oswald from the Aurora Healthcare Foundation and Holly Niemeyer of Oshkosh, breast cancer survivor and participant in this year's walk. So thank you both so much for coming in today and telling us all about the cancer walk this year.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
So Beth, first off, do you want to just tell us a little bit more about the Vince Lombardi Cancer Walk? What exactly are all the details?
Details are it's going to be Saturday, June 7th at Menominee Park. We'll walk through the trail and go through all the way through Menominee Park. Hopefully it's a nice day out that day. Program starts at registration and activities start at 8 o'clock. And there's a 9:30 program where we hear from survivors, do a little cheer, get everybody excited, do some stretching, and then the walk actually starts at 10.
Awesome.
This year there's no registration fee. We're just asking that the walkers fundraise and bring their families and have fun.
Great. How long is the walk?
The walk is a 3K.
Okay.
And included in the day then are a whole bunch of different activities. There's an Ask the Doctor station, there's a kids zone, music by WVBO, there's food, and even the park is giving discounts on carousel and train rides that day for walk participants. So it can kind of be a whole family day.
Yeah, I mean, so not only the walk, but all these other activities, which start at 8 a.m., you said?
Yes.
Yeah, how many people usually come to this thing? I mean, is it a pretty good crowd?
Last year we had about 200 people participating, and with waiving the registration fee this year, we're hoping that a lot more people come. People are welcome to show up that day and register right away, make donations, be a part of it.
Excellent. And is the Menominee Park, is that new that they're in the Menominee Park? Has it always been there?
This is the first year that we're doing it in Menominee Park. We've always done it at the Aurora campus, but it's been growing and growing, so we've decided to do it at the park and kind of make an afternoon of it.
Yeah, and what an interesting place to do it too. I mean, change up the scenery a little bit and kind of wind around in there by the water too. So very cool. Why? I guess this is kind of an obvious question, but why should people join the walk? What's their motivation to be doing this?
Well, really the walk is kind of to celebrate and give hope to people who are fighting, celebrate people who are survivors. Everybody's pretty much been touched by cancer at some point in their life, whether it's been themselves or a family member, neighbor, friends, like Holly. And so it's just really a chance to give back, bring the community together, give back. Everything that we raise is matched by the Vince Lombardi Foundation. So whatever we raise, they're going to match, and that'll all go back into the center that's here in Oshkosh. And that's what's so important, is to have that world-class medical facility right here in Oshkosh, so you don't have to travel to get the treatment that's needed.
Definitely, and it's just amazing that we have such a great center right here in Oshkosh, so local. You know, saying that the Vince Lombardi Foundation is going to be matching all of the funds raised on this. Do you have any kind of goals or anything, or any comparison to last year?
We're shooting for $20,000 on our part this year. We're hoping to be able to raise $20,000 and then get a matching grant from the Lombardi Foundation.
Just amazing how much something like that can grow. And Holly, you're a breast cancer survivor.
I am. I will be at the time of the walk. Right now I
Yes.
still have 2 more treatments.
Okay, and actually it's kind of an interesting story as far as the walk. You'll be at the walk cheering on your team.
I will be. My last treatment is actually the Thursday before the walk, so I promised my medical team and my supporters that I wouldn't walk and outdo it, but I'm going to be the cute cheerleader at the end, cheering everybody who's finishing and supporting the cause, because it is a really good cause, and it's a way to bring awareness throughout the whole community, because cancer does affect pretty much everybody throughout the community at some point in their life.
It really does. And you have the coolest team name.
Holly's Heroes.
Holly's Heroes.
All of my friends and supporters have been my hero throughout my journey, and so it kind of fits that here's the last chance to, well, not last chance, but another chance for them to either join me on my team and help fundraise, or support me by, $10, $15, because everything is matched. Every little bit helps. It brings more hope, more therapies, and more everything to the Cancer Center.
And what an amazing way to end your journey.
Exactly. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. And it's at Menominee Park, my favorite park in Oshkosh. And there's so much to do after the walk that it's going to be fun.
And, besides having all of your friends and family here supporting you, why is this walk important to you personally?
I think this walk is a way for me to give back and support the community who has supported me throughout the whole entire journey. It's great from my nurse navigator holding my hand through, my biopsy, all the way through every medical staff going above and beyond to make me feel special. And it's not just cancer, I'm Holly, and how do we make Holly comfortable? How do we make Holly's life easier? Instead of, oh, you're just cancer victim, whatever. I'm a person, I'm a face. So it's kind of going to be, here's my way of giving back.
And you had your cancer treatment right here in Oshkosh
I did.
as well. Can you tell us why it was important for you to have that here close to home?
Well, it started out being that's where my doctor was, and the tests came back, but I found out I have the whole support of the community, from family and friends making me dinners, from my chemo or my therapies, to businesses knowing that, I am a survivor or I'm battling it, and going out of the way to make me feel at home. It's the whole entire part of Oshkosh is helping me through this. It's not just me.
It's just so great that, that this is available right here in Oshkosh. And Beth, maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about the Vince Lombardi Care Center. What's so special about it?
Well, that's kind of what Holly touched on, is it's really this whole team of anybody from the nurse navigators to the doctors that really help the patients go from diagnosis to survivor and then thrive to try and get their life back from what it was before diagnosis.
To make the life not even know that it's changed. Here's my normal routine. We want to keep you being normal everyday Holly.
That's really the big goal with the Vince Lombardi Cancer Center, is to try and give people some kind of sense of a normal life.
And what's the importance of the community kind of pulling together for this? I mean, most people are touched by cancer, but for those people that aren't, what is their draw to this? Why are you, or not why, but what's the importance of them coming and supporting?
Just, I think, to give back, to show all the survivors that we're all there for them, because everybody knows somebody who's been affected by it, and just
Or
to
to
show
bring awareness to, like for me, for breast cancer, 1 out of 8 women are going to hear, your test results are positive. And the more we fundraise, the more we help, hopefully less women are going to hear that in the future. So that's why it's important.
Yes.
a lot of the fundraising that we do isn't just for medical research. It's also really to help make the patients more comfortable. I know one of the things that we're trying to fundraise is for wigs, just so women can go off and feel comfortable if that's what they want. There's a shortage, and a wig is $300 to $500, if not more. So if we can fundraise to purchase some for the center, you know, that's just makes life a little
bit
easier.
helps,
Yes, everything. And we've got about a minute left. Where can we sign up for the walk?
You can sign up by going to aurora.org
Okay.
/Cancer Walk Oshkosh, or you can call me directly at 920-456-7009, and I can get you signed up. Start a team, raise some money,
Or
go
come
ask
and
your
join
friends.
Holly's Heroes.
Join
We're always
Holly's
looking
Heroes.
members.
Yep.
Always looking for extra heroes for Holly.
Yes.
And one last, I mean, again, there's no fee
No
related to it.
registration fee. Saturday, June 7th. It will be good. It will be a nice day out.
It's going to be a beautiful day. I can
Yes.
see it already. Well, thank you both so much for coming in and telling us about this, and best of luck to your team at the walk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So coming up next, we're going to hear about a way that we can learn more about our military veterans by going to a museum that's actually right here in Oshkosh. We'll be right back on Oshkosh Today.
Hi, I'm Mayor Bergtauer, and I'm asking for your help. The city has several boards and commissions that play important roles in just about every aspect of local government. Whether it's the Parks Board or the Landmarks Commission, these and other boards act as a forum for citizens to address their concerns and questions about Oshkosh city government. The boards also provide members the opportunity to make positive suggestions to the council or city staff to move the city forward. So here's where we need your help. For our city to work effectively, we need active citizen participation. Many of our boards and commissions currently need members. We're asking for just a few hours of your time each month to serve on one of our boards or commissions and help to ensure a strong democratic process. So please consider serving on a city board or commission. For an application, visit the city website, stop by the city manager's office in City Hall, or call 236-5000. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to your possible involvement.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today. The Military Veterans Museum is located right here in Oshkosh, and it's available for anyone who's eager to learn more about their veterans who have served our country. So here today we have a veteran and museum archivist and secretary, Ron Griffin, to tell us more about the Oshkosh Military Veterans Museum. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ron.
My pleasure.
So first off, do you want to just tell us a little bit about the museum itself? What exactly is it? What can we see?
Well, right now we're kind of in a still in the building phase, and we have it's a work in progress, but we are open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays out at our Poperesny Road location. We have the building that's out there now. It was originally built to house our vehicle collection, so there isn't a lot of space for the other exhibits, but we do have exhibits set up. The primary one is on Pearl Harbor. Have some photographs and so on to kind of tell the story of the Pearl Harbor attack. And we also have several artifacts that relate to Pearl Harbor. We have an actual piece off of the Arizona, the battleship Arizona, and also the logbooks from the USS California from the day of the attack.
Wow.
We also have a display that features the Marine Corps. One of the exhibits there is on a local Oshkosh Marine. He was killed in May 20th, 1967 in Vietnam. His name was Jim Dobish. So we have a display set up on to honor him, and also we have a display set up to honor several of the Medal of Honor recipients from Oshkosh, or the area. One is from World War II, is First Sergeant Elmer Burr. He was killed in World War II in New Guinea, and also we have a display of a Vietnam recipient, Ken Stumpf. And Ken is still alive, actually, but he's around someplace in Wisconsin. I'm not
Somewhere
sure
around
where.
here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, the museum does not focus on only one specific war by any means.
Well, our whole focus is on any of the conflicts. Our mission statement is to honor this nation's military history, and through that, the veterans, by both education and preservation of their history. And it was founded by several, 5 World War II veterans. So it kind of, by necessity from that, the original collection was from their personal collections. So it kind of concentrates on World War II, but we're trying to expand it. We do have some artifacts from the Civil War all the way up to the Afghanistan conflict.
And it's a beautiful building from the pictures that we saw. And do you try to kind of focus more on the veterans that are from the area, like Oshkosh and the Fox Valley?
We try to focus on veterans, and because all of our collection really came from donations of either the veterans themselves or their families, it does emphasize the people here in the area.
Okay, and what are some of I know you gave us some examples of some of the different exhibits that people can see. What are some of the things that people might not expect to see there that might surprise them a little bit?
Well, one of our major exhibit areas is, and especially in the building because it was built for the motor pool and housing our vehicle collection, but one of the newest and more spectacular exhibits is a T-34-85. It's a Soviet-built tank from 1944. It was used actually by the Soviets against the Japanese at the end of the war.
And that's a picture of it I think we're seeing up there right now. So are people actually able to get up onto the tank and look at it, or are those workers at the
Those are the
museum?
guys that are working on getting
Okay.
it going and operate it. It is fully functional.
Really?
We do. It was down last year. We took it down to both Peoria and Rockford, Illinois, where they have big Civil or World War II reenactor groups, and it was kind of the hit of the thing.
Oh, I can imagine. And so that's, different things like that are always kind of coming in. You're always getting donations and new
Oh
items.
yeah, it's amazing what every day almost that we get something else in that's just blows me away as a historian, a fan of history. Not too long ago, we just got a gentleman who has a dumpster company, and he rescued some 78 RPM records, but they're all about World War I and World War II songs, and it was all patriotic songs and everything. So I'm trying to figure out how we're going to play them, but we want to have those out there, And we also, we just don't do the veterans, but it's also the families of the veterans, and not only during their service, but after their service as well.
Right. And Ron, you are a veteran, is that correct?
Correct.
What do you want people, from a veteran's perspective, what would you want people to take away from this museum?
Just as an appreciation for what it took to go through this. I don't think my service is very unusual or spectacular, but some of these guys went through hardships beyond what any one of us would even be able to describe. But just an appreciation for what they did, why they did it, and the contribution that that service has given to this country.
Really to, recognize and appreciate, because I think a lot of times people forget. And, as history continues, it's hard to remember.
And unfortunately, in the school systems nowadays, they don't pay too much attention to history. And I know that when my sons went through there, they had hardly any idea what Vietnam conflict was, let alone what World War II is. So.
Definitely. And so you're hoping to, maybe educate some people more by having them come out and visit. We got a little bit of time left, so actually if you just want to tell us, you said you're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your hours are expanding pretty soon here, and you are looking for volunteers. Is that correct?
Right. We want to go to a full time, and we were hoping to be able to do it at the end of this month. It's still up in the air as to whether we're going to be able to do it. And that's all dependent upon having volunteers to come in, because we do have to have somebody there to help show people around and make sure that they don't fall off the tank or do any damage to anything. Because a lot of the stuff we have is one of a kind items, so we don't want to, things to walk away or to get damaged.
Definitely.
So we do need the volunteers.
And if people are interested in volunteering, you've got a great website. All your contact information is on that website. And I believe you do have a Facebook page as well that people can visit to see.
If they go on the Facebook page, there's a lot more about the activities and what's going on with there. And they can get a hold of me. The best way is just to call the museum office, and I don't even remember the phone number.
We got it right up there, 920-426-8615.
Or to get a hold of me by email on ron.griffin@mvmwisconsin, that's all spelled out in one word, and .com.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much again for joining us today, Ron. And I'm actually really looking forward to coming out and taking a look at the museum.
We look forward to having you out there.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I got to meet some pretty cool kids from Oshkosh North that are making a change, along with the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, to build people's desire to read by installing some free little libraries in our park. So we'll be right back with that right after this.
I can't wait to be done with this. Wonder if I'm gonna get all these tree roots out of here. Wait, was I supposed to call Digger's hotline? Nah, I'm not digging that deep. But something's getting power, water, and gas to the house. Nah, I'm sure if I drive this pick into an underground line,
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Respect is at the heart of civility, and it's a two-way street. If you want to get respect, you've got to show respect. So be the first to show it. Honor other people and their opinions, especially in the midst of a disagreement. Speak your piece and show respect. The Oshkosh Civility Project is a community-based effort. More information at oshkoshcivilityproject.org.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today. Now I am at Roe Park right here in Oshkosh on this windy Friday morning, here with some Oshkosh North Vocational Skills students, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their latest project, which is the free little libraries. And I have Anthony Wagenke and Aisha Turner here to tell us a little bit more about that. So first off, do you guys want to just tell us a little bit about what exactly is a little free library?
It's where you take a book and add a book.
And how exactly does that work? I mean, where do the books come from, and is it available for anyone?
Yes, it is. We got donations from St. Vincent de Paul, and
Great. And why exactly did you choose this project? Was this kind of assigned to you, or did you decide on it on your own?
We actually had somebody start it out, and so we just wanted to finish it because we thought it would be good for the community, because first off, people don't like reading that much, so we're going to try to get people to enjoy it more and have something fun along with it.
And what's really the age group? Is this open for anyone, or is it more steered toward the younger generation?
Mostly the younger generation, but it's open to anyone.
It's open for adults too. Yeah, we're going to put adult books and kids books in there.
Where exactly are all of the little libraries going to be located? I know right now we're at Roe Park. One of them's going to go here. Where are the other locations?
The other one's going to be at Abe Brosnan Park over by the Rainbow Parks, and then the other one's going to be at Fuggerberg Boat Ramp. So far just the main three.
And I know, as we were looking at the different little libraries, you designed them to cater to each location that they're going to be at. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what each of the libraries looks like? So, for example, first, let's talk about the Roe one.
The Roe Park is based off the YMCA because it's got a lot of kids and it's meant for a play area. So we designed the Caterpillar one off of the YMCA for kids and stuff. So we drew kids pictures playing around, and then there's the boat, which is off the boat ramp, so we made the design as a boat. And then there's the Abe Brosnan Park. We made into like a fish tank because that's where a lot of fishing goes on.
And they're so creative. I mean, how was it? What was your experience like? Not only coming up with the ideas for how they're going to look, but also making them. I know this was a whole semester-long project.
It was pretty fun.
And was it? Did you come up to any challenges or anything? I mean, it was a big group project for a lot of different.
Yeah,
things.
There was a lot of frustration and going on because some people were slacking, some people didn't they wanted to do it, but they just didn't feel like there was the right time because they had nothing to do because other people were taking over. So it's just a lot of frustration going on when that happened.
And how did you, come up to those challenges, and how did you solve those?
We eventually figured out as a group. We decided to just work together and stop trying to take it over as a one-person team. So we all just eventually just worked together and started finishing it up and doing good.
Definitely a great team building effort. And when can we expect to start seeing the little libraries popping up around at all these parks?
Hopefully pretty soon, because all we need to do is just install a couple more things and then they'll be up and ready to get books put in them.
Excellent. And if people want to find out more about the little libraries, where can they go or who can they contact?
Go to Oshkosh Mrs. Williams.
Okay, and you can find all her information on Oshkosh North's website, correct? All right, and then actually I wanted to congratulate you. I know you guys just came back from Skills USA. You have your medal. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
We had to present something to Skills USA judges, and we presented the project, and they actually thought it was a really good idea for the community. So we did place third, which is actually good enough because that's our first time going out. So it's that's just amazing that we did that. And we placed third out of 11, so it's amazing that we did that.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations and best of luck on these little libraries. Great job with all of this. And again, if you want more information on the little libraries, you can go to Oshkosh North's website and look up Ms. Williams for her phone number. We'll be right back with more on Oshkosh Today.
In a world full of what ifs, what if you could ensure that cable companies across the country,
just like me,
channels and support to you and your community without any new fees or taxes? Well, now you can.
Join us in support of the CAP Act.
When Congress passes the CAP Act,
we'll have insured
the continued support of
the 5,000 public,
education,
and government channels across the U.S.
who broadcast more than 1 million hours of
new locally produced programs each year by people
just like me.
And by people just like you.
What if you go to the Act Now section at acommunitytv.org and call your Congress member to pass the CAP Act today?
thanks again for joining us on Oshkosh Today. Memorial Day is fast approaching, already about 2 weeks away. It comes time to honor those people who gave their lives for our country. One way that we can recognize those people is by attending the Memorial Day procession right here in Oshkosh. So here to tell us a little bit more about that is Doc Sunleitner and George Gillis. Thanks so much for joining us today, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So actually, first, for those of us who aren't familiar or who have maybe might be a little fuzzy in our memory, George, do you want to first just tell us a little bit about Memorial Day and what it's all about?
Okay. Memorial Day is a time when our citizens and veterans gather to honor the men and women who gave their lives in the defense of freedom. It is the job of the living to take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure. More than 1 million Americans have perished as a result of military conflicts. The men and women we honor on this day were real people. Today is a solemn day of remembrance that should be set aside for contemplation. At no time in history has our country depended more on women veterans. Now is time to make sure we give them the honor equally. Like so many Americans in history, our veterans put themselves in harm's way for you, for me, and for our future. On Memorial Day, we take the time to mourn the loss of these fine men and women, as well as those who have passed on after their military service ended.
And I think that is a perfect description of Memorial Day. And I think, to me at least, a lot of times Memorial Day gets lost as a day off of work for people to, go and grill out and have parties. And I think it's really important that people remember the reason behind Memorial Day and what they really should be focusing on this day. And now the procession, Doc, actually takes place on Memorial Day, Monday, May 26th at 9 a.m.
Correct. Well, the festivities, actually, we call it festivities, but start earlier in the morning. At 7 o'clock in the morning, there is a ceremony at South Park Memorial Square, which is on 11th and Ohio Streets. That's at 7 o'clock in the morning, where a group gathered there and read off all the names of those men and women that are on the plaques at the square. These are from the World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and all since. The other of Afghanistan and the other wars, we have not added the plaques yet or the stones on that yet. But that's at 7 o'clock in the morning. From there, we transfer over to the Riverside, right alongside of the convention center itself there, which has been an annual affair, where the Ladies Auxiliary of the AMVETS Post 7, under the directorship of Ellen Schmidt, they conduct the Riverside ceremony for all the men and women who were lost at sea during the wars. And then that's at 8 o'clock. And then we depart there about 8:30, and then meander over to the lineup area, which is along the Algoma and Beach School, the high school area, from Jackson Street east in that area. And the procession then commences or starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. We proceed then directly down north on Algoma Boulevard, all the way out to Riverside Cemetery. Now that's a long hike to go out there. And by the way, that's, I guess, where you and I will be
Yes.
by the
Right by the museum.
Doing the broadcasting. And it's be great to have you with us.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm ready to do our co-hosting together there. And actually, even the procession leads to Riverside Cemetery, which, what happens there?
Well, at Riverside Cemetery itself, after everyone is lined up and the people are situated, naturally every ceremony like this starts when you honor all those that are deceased. We start with the VFW band marching from the edge of the cemetery onto the area, the flagstaff area, the monument there, with the dirge, which is customary, which was started at the original procession for Memorial Day. And then there was the ceremony which was conducted there, and this year the director or the commander of the program this year is a gentleman from the VFW, and their turn, this is his last year as the term that it moves on to the AMVETS for the next 2 years. But anyhow, this year is very unusual because we are paying attention or honoring the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. And most of the program itself will be conducted around the Civil War, where we'll have the speakers from the unit of the honoring the Company E of the 6th Infantry of the Wisconsin detachment from the Civil War. The gentlemen that belong to the Sons of the Union War Veterans, the organization is conducting the ceremony that for the next probably 15 minutes.
Okay.
And besides it, you'll have the Gettysburg Address and all the other announcements and things that go with it, General Logan's orders and things like that, and a little history behind this unit that fought. And this unit that I spoke about, the Company E is actually originated in Oshkosh.
Okay.
So most of these boys are, and if you can then, after the ceremony, there's going to be another short ceremony in the Civil War area of Riverside Park, Riverside Cemetery.
Right.
And that is on along the river on the south end of the cemetery. And which, by the way, our organization, our Civil War group, has also spent an awful lot of time and money in replacing and fixing up the stones and the monuments that were there for the Civil War area.
And so really it's a full day of activities and of remembrance, not only the procession, but all these different services. We've got about a minute left, and I just wanted to get from you guys, what, as veterans, how important is this to you guys that people are able to come to these and remember the veterans that have fallen?
Myself personally, I think it's very important. We need to remember, and we need to teach our younger people about what we've gone through. And this is one way we can do that.
Yes.
We're paying tribute to those men and women in particular. It is of very, very importance to me because I not only had uncles, but I had cousins and all that were killed in World War I and World War II and in Korea. And it's very, very important that we pay homage and pay tribute to these men
In honor,
who
yes.
gave their lives for us so that we can be here today.
Exactly.
It's very important.
And we are out of time already, and I'm really looking forward to Memorial Day because that'll be my first time being here in Oshkosh for Memorial Day, co-hosting the procession with you, Doc. Again, the procession is on Monday, May 26th at 9 a.m. Festivities begin at South Park at 7 a.m. OCMS will be covering the procession, so you can view our broadcast online at oshkoshcommunitymedia.org if you are unable to make the procession. So thank you both so much for joining us today.
We thank you for having us.
Entirely welcome. Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break here on Oshkosh Today, and when we come back, we'll take a few minutes to focus on health with our friends at Aurora and take a look at some pain treatment options. We'll be right back on Oshkosh Today.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin Honor Flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Thinking about dealing drugs in our county? Think again.
Welcome back to Oshkosh Today. It's tough to deal with everyday aches and pains, but when those pains get to be a serious problem, our friends at Aurora in Oshkosh might have a solution. Today we focus on health and your options for when it comes to pain treatments. Take a look.
This Focus on Health segment is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Health. I'm Ted Stefaniak. Today we're at the Aurora Medical Center in Oshkosh, and we're going to be talking about how to deal with pain. We're going to have a chance to sit down with Dr. Randall Schultz, who's a physiatrist here at Aurora, and he's going to talk about some of the options available for pain treatment. Well, thank you for joining us today. I want to start out just by kind of describing what is a physiatrist and what do you do?
Physiatry is a specialty. It's also called physical medicine and rehabilitation. And our training is the non-surgical management of individuals with disabilities. And what I focus on are individuals who have disabling spine conditions, typically herniated discs, spinal stenosis, arthritis in the joints in the spine, and the joints close to the spine. But very often that overlaps into evaluating people who have hip and shoulder problems and so forth also.
I would imagine it takes some special training for that.
Correct. Our training is fairly broad. Right after medical school, we have a 4-year residency. And some colleagues of mine, they specialize in things like rehabilitation of head injury or rehabilitation of patients who have spinal cord injuries and are paralyzed. What I specialize or subspecialize in is more the non-surgical treatment of individuals with spine problems that are generally painful.
I would imagine most people would want to avoid surgery if at all possible, and that's where you come in. What is conservative care for neck and back pain?
Anything non-surgical would be by definition be conservative care. Chiropractic treatment is a form of conservative care. Taking medications is also conservative. A lot of individuals who have spine problems benefit from services such as physical therapy. And then what I do is, in addition to ordering physical therapy and medications for individuals with spine problems, we often do a variety of different diagnostic and therapeutic injection interventions for patients. Injections that often help alleviate pain, but also help determine where the pain's coming from.
Yeah. Are there other treatment options available for people in a non-surgical way?
Yes. One of the things that often we do is work in conjunction with chiropractors and physical therapists, because what I do with injections to help determine where the pain's coming from often enables a physical therapist to more effectively treat a patient, and often helps a chiropractor help manipulate joints and get joints moving in a more normal fashion.
You've mentioned injections a couple of times. What kind of injections do you perform?
Well, I do basically all the different injections that you can think of in regards to spine problems. The most common injections that I do are epidural cortisone injections, and that's putting medication in the space between the bone and the nerves in the spine. Many people have heard that word epidural because women often have anesthesia placed in that area when they're in labor, because you can numb up the nerves that go to the uterus and make labor contractions less painful. Well, we're not inserting anesthesia in the epidural space. We're putting an anti-inflammatory cortisone in that area. And that often decreases swelling by the nerves and decreases pain by doing that. And there's a couple different ways we can deliver the medication into the epidural space. We can either go into the middle of the spine and between the vertebrae, or we can go along the outside of the spine. Then we also do injections along the joints in the spine. Often the joints become arthritic and painful, and so we will inject the joints at times with Novocaine and cortisone to decrease inflammation, and that often helps for an extended period of time for people who have joint pain. Sometimes what we'll do is put radiofrequency probes along the outside of the joints and permanently numb up the nerves that go to the joints. That's called radiofrequency facet ablation. We also do injections that put medication by specific nerves in the spine. We call those selective nerve root injections. And often we need to do that in order to diagnose which nerve is affected by whatever pathology there is in the spine. And finally, we often do what are called sacroiliac joint injections, which are joints that are really at the base of the spine. Often people think those joints are the hips, but they're really joints just down real low, and they can get arthritis and they can generate pain, and injections often alleviate that for patients.
Some complicated stuff in there when you're talking about the joints in the bones. At what point, if a person is dealing with some discomfort, some pain, should they come and see a physiatrist like yourself, or should they go see their primary care physician first?
The majority of spine conditions don't even require my services initially. 80% of episodes of acute back pain, for example, 80%, which is a high percentage, are going to get better with time, chiropractic treatment, and medication, and relative rest within a 1-month period of time. Typically, I see people who have either much more severe incapacitating pain that might start suddenly, but is a sign of a more serious problem, and I will see them early on. But I would say very often the patients I see are after that 1-month time frame, where they might be in the category of the 20% of people that aren't getting better, and then they require help from me.
And then for those, you're able to help a lot of people, but if it's even more serious and surgery is required, your group is able to help them as well?
Correct. Myself, I do the non-surgical aspect of spine care for patients that are referred to us, and that doesn't always work. Unfortunately, people often do need to consider surgery, and surgery does help these people. It's just that many people look at that as a last resort. Surgery is probably done on about 20% of the people that are referred to our clinic. 80% are treated non-surgically. But our surgeons are very, have a lot of expertise and a lot of training in treating all the different spine conditions that are out there.
Well, we thank you for taking some time with us today.
Well, thank you.
Now, if you've been dealing with some pain, you can always check in with your primary care provider, but if you have other questions about pain and pain treatment, you can get a hold of Dr. Schultz here in Aurora at 303-8700. I'm Ted Stefaniak, and we'll see you next time on Focus on Health.
This Focus on Health segment has been brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.
Do you know or have a family member with a disability? Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin is here to help. We offer programs and services that make a positive difference for individuals that are affected by a variety of disabilities. Volunteers are always welcome, and your financial gifts are truly appreciated and tax deductible. For more details, log on to www.cpmideastwis.com or call 1-800-261-1895. Thanks for supporting Cerebral Palsy of Mideast, Wisconsin.
On the surface, the simple pleasures in life are going on all around us. But inches beneath the surface, utility lines are carrying electricity, gas, and more to your home. Digger's Hotline helps avoid costly or dangerous mistakes. It doesn't matter how deep you're digging. Call 811 or click diggershotline.com 3 working days before you start your project, and we'll help take the risk out of digging. Protect your simple pleasures. Know what's below.
We're back on Oshkosh Today, and that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you so much for joining us as always, and we'll see you next time on Oshkosh Today.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard. To find replay times for Oshkosh Today, to be a guest on the show, or to watch online, visit our website at oshkoshcommunitymedia.org.